I remember a picture of us at a haystack. We must have went and seen him out at the ranch because we were by a haystack. Avis and her cousin and Grandpa's cousin Hazel. We were all together. And then he wanted to take us to Reno. So Avis and Lois, and I don't think Hazel went, just Avis and Lois and Dad and I went to Reno, and we went to this. We went to Carson City, didn't we?
No, went to the Chinese place.
Anyway, we ordered the biggest Chinese dinner. Had duck. What do you call it? Pineapple duck, and all these wonderful foods. And we just barely made a dent in it. 3 girls, and never used to eating anything like that before. And instead of having to box it all up and bring it home, we just left it all. And then we went to a casino. Well, they made Avis and Lois go out because they weren't old enough. But because I was with Grandpa, they let me stay. So they said, well, you go across the street to the museum, and then, we'd catch up with them later. And then on the way home, he had this Pontiac. Was it a Pontiac? Yeah. And so he had Lois drive, and he sat in the back seat with me, and I couldn't figure that out,
Oh, so you didn't know if you liked each other at this point?
No.
Or?
Well, I didn't know.
Grandpa obviously liked you.
And then, I don't know.
I thought you were great.
When we got home, the girls and I were talking about it, and Avis told me that he likes you, and he wanted to sit with you, or something to that order. And that's the first inkling I had that he was interested in me.
And how old were you?
I don't remember.
15?
I don't know. But then he would just, drop by and visit, and of course, to see Roy, but I knew why he was there. And one time I was very sick with the flu. Oh, I was really sick. And he brought me pineapple juice and a dozen roses.
Oh boy.
And so I knew that was very, very special. And
you were sick then.
I was sick. And it just grew from there.
Did you ever go to dinner down at their house, or?
Oh no, I was scared to death of his mom and dad.
You were scared to death of his mom and dad? Well, they come down to Roy Marshy's, obviously, because...
No, Grandpa would stop by.
Huh?
His dad would stop by once in a while, but his mother never did.
Oh, really?
No. And I always heard, where they were so particular and just, just above us. Just felt like they were above us because we were pretty common people. And so when we got married, we were going to live with them for a year. Well, no, before we got married, Grandpa just about had to pack me up there to the house and have dinner or something. Was it dinner? I was so nervous, scared to death.
And so how did Grandma make you feel?
They were just the nicest people, and so just treated me wonderful. All of his family, they have always treated me just
Now,
great.
Buck and Dorothy and Jewel and Neil were already married.
Mm-hmm. And they all lived with Grandma and Grandpa a year after they were married, so it was expected for us to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So we moved up, and moved my stuff up there in a little box like this.
That was it, huh?
That was it. And, you know, his mom taught me so much. She was just the best teacher and was so patient with me, and I was just right there helping her with everything she did, and I learned a lot. So that year was very good for us to be there. And because I didn't come from a home, you know, like they had. We were poor. And his aunt and uncle had several children, and they didn't have much money, but they took me in and loved me, just like I was their own.
Betty Pratt and me was up there, the paying place, and we stayed up there, and there's no curtains or blinds or nothing, and just springs, no mattress or nothing on the old bed, and you laid your sleeping bag out on it. We didn't have sleeping bags, but we just had our bedroll, lay it out on it, and sleeping and looking out the windows. There's just all the windows open. And here there's stars just going all directions. So we had to get up and go out and look. And they have just never seen anything like it. It was solid stars were falling. Talk about a shower now. Stars falling, you would just watch these showers, right? Just going everywhere, thick. You've never seen them like that since. Meteor shower.
What did you think?
Thought, boy, there's something happening here now.
Yeah.
And
Did you think the world was
we didn't have any idea
was
what
coming to an end?
We didn't have any idea. We thought the best thing for us to do is go to sleep.
That's how he handles everything. He just goes to sleep.
Couldn't figure out what to do about it. So we went to sleep. Next morning, everything was the sun come up nice and warm. We didn't make a lot of money, but yeah, we were working. $35 a month. What started with the board and room. So that was pretty good them days. But it was more daylight till dark, hours. As long as there's anything to do, you had to do it.
My dad was in World War I, and that was before he and my mom got married. And during the Depression, we lived in the Hollow, Wausau, Wisconsin. And we were poor. Mom and Dad had 9 children. And it was hard to get work and everything. So my dad worked for the WPA. You know, I think President Roosevelt got that program together. And
What was that stand for, WPA?
workers, something.
I'll look it up. Okay, WPA.
Yeah, anyway, he worked for the WPA, and we were very poor. And I remember one Christmas, the Lions Club or some club like that brought us a big box of groceries and brought us kids a sled and skates. And the first time I'd had an orange. And so oranges are always, even the smell of an orange brings back those memories when we had our first orange. That was wonderful. My dad was a very hard worker. And I never did know of him being sick. But he was a very hard worker all of his life. I remember.
Yeah, my dad was, they called him up to go to this World War I. And we got pictures of him, this whole pile of them, waiting for the train to come to take him. I don't know, San Francisco or Reno or where.
That was in Fort Bidwell, was this picture.
No,
wasn't it?
it was down at the trade depot. Still there, the flower deal.
Oh,
Oh.
now tourists.
Now tourist, yeah.
Okay.
It's still, the building's still there.
Okay, I just thought it was.
And it shows them all out there. You can ease there. They was waiting to go, and then they got word that the war was over.
And
They
the
didn't have to
same
go.
thing happened with you. You went for your physical and was all ready to go into the service. And then tell me what happened.
Well, and Bailey and them said that he went to the draft board and told them that he wanted me to stay
And work on the
and
ranch.
work on the ranch. So, what's his name? Woodward, Carol Woodward's dad. He was the head of the draft board, so he okayed it. So I didn't have to go.
But you went and had your
But
physical.
I went and had my physical, and I passed that in Sacramento.
And you wanted to be in the
And
Navy.
they wanted me what I wanted to be in. I said, oh, I'll be in the Navy. Take the Navy. He said, well, how would you like the Army? I said, probably wouldn't like it. He said, that'll make any difference in it anyway.
And then what
Oh.
happened after that?
Then I went home, and then I never did get called anymore.
The war was over. The war ended.
Yeah, and the measles.
When all
yeah.
of you got the measles.
Yeah. Dorothy and Jewel got them, and then Grandma got them, and
You were taking
I
care of
was
them
taking
and
care
keeping
of
the
them,
fires
trying
going.
to keep the fires going. It's cold in the wintertime,
Mm.
and it was really cold, a lot of snow. So I was trying to keep the fires all night because they were so thick. And then finally I got them, and they got to doing a little better. Finally, and then I don't know when my dad come home.
Mm.
He was gone a long time.
So I think it was Dorothy told us that he had a candy shop
Yeah,
up
then
there.
he started a candy shop down in the theater, right next to the candy theater.
After you went to barber school?
That's before he went to barber school.
Oh.
And we had the candy shop. He had it there quite a while.
And you used to go see a movie and then fall asleep during
Yeah.
the movie.
And I went to I could go to a movie anytime I wanted to. The guy that owned it says, anytime you want to go, go. So I went in there one time and went to sleep down in the front row. And they locked it up. My dad was getting ready to go
Shut
home.
all the lights off.
They went looking for me, couldn't find me. So then they found the guy that's owned the theater. So they went back inside and found me out down on the front row.
So you've always been a good sleeper.
Good.
Yes,
Yeah.
still is.
It was low in the bar. So I told her, now when you get it in there, I made a stick. I put on the throttle and up against the dash so it would hold it at just certain RPM. Charger. I said, when you get up that RPM, well then put the stick right there. Okay. But so she pulled it in the driveway and the garage door was down and stopped.
Sure.
Then she got out, wondering how they killed her. But she got outside and had the door open, but it's down on her hands and knees trying to get that stick in there, and she's watching the amp meter to try to get it up to 30.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it was, then she watched the speedometer and trying to get it up to 30. Well, pretty soon it got up to 30 and it took off.
Right through the garage
Right through the
door.
garage door.
Right through it.
Oh yeah, well it ended up like this.
Yeah, kind of pushed it up.
But you know, I'm wondering how they got her,
Oh, yeah.
the car door in the garage.
Yeah.
But she fell out before she got there.
Dorothy was sick in bed, and Grandma had been over there taking care of her, and I was going to go help Grandma. And I mean, here they come running out there, white as a sheet. Or maybe I was the one that was white as a sheet. Anyway, to see what had happened, they couldn't believe it. The car wasn't hurt, the garage door wasn't hurt, and I wasn't
Really?
hurt.
Yeah, they
Wow.
pushed the garage door up, never heard a thing.
Hmm.
And Buck couldn't believe it either when he got home. Oh, we had all kinds of things with the car.
Oh yeah, one time we was in the ranch, and Gloria was going to town. And
I stopped by
I
the
was
shop.
working in the blacksmith shop.
Yeah, I
and,
stopped by to see you.
So
and
she
then-
stopped outside and come in to talk to me before she went. And I looked out and I said, there's somebody, a car going by there. And I looked up and I thought, that's our car.
Holy cow, that's our car.
Left it in gear and it warmed up.
So he took out running after it,
But it,
but not before it hit the back of a hay wagon and
And it-
smashed the windshield all to
went
pieces.
right under the back, there was a bolt sticking down like this, and went full into the hood. Broke the windshield.
And I had to drive to town with that shattered windshield.
How old were you? Was this the first year you were married? So were you?
No, the second.
So you were
We
17.
were living out at the ranch.
So you had your driver's license?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I had to,
She had a terrible time with that car. Then she took it to town. After that was later after that. And I got a call, can't get the car started. It's on the sidewalk in front of the courthouse.
I had run to town to get Graham a Tony. I was going to give her a Tony, home permanent,
So I
that
hurried
day.
up.
So I run to town right quick. And of course my foot hit the
Yeah.
gas instead of the brake, and up on the sidewalk I went, and I just knew that I was going to
Back
be
off.
arrested for being up on the sidewalk in front of the courthouse. So
I heard
I
it.
walked back to Enderlin's to call Delwon. I was pretty shook up. And when he came, he got right in and it started right up.
Real well.
No problem at all.
Didn't hurt anything.
I couldn't believe that. And one time I went to town, we was living in town then, and I went to town, parked by Fitzpatrick's clothing store, and you parked, what is it, this way?
Angle, yeah.
Yeah, you pull into the parking lot, you don't go this way.
Diagonal, right?
Right.
Anyway, my foot hit the gas again, went right into the store, the wall of the store. They all came running out. But after we moved to Prospect, and I was about 11, I guess. All we had was, we had cold cereal or oatmeal for breakfast and hot chocolate, or it was cocoa. And then we made our toast on a wood stove, the burner on the wood stove, we'd make our toast. And then we had fried potatoes for lunch every day and boiled potatoes at night. And sometimes my mom would make gravy or creamed peas to put on the potatoes at night.
Creamed peas?
Creamed peas. And that is all we had. We had, bread. We had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But that's all we had. No fruit, no vegetables, nothing. Just fried potatoes and boiled potatoes.
We always had a cow, milk.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have a car, so my dad had to he had a bicycle, and he would go like 4 miles to town, because we were at a sawmill, and he'd go about 4 miles to town and bring home this big sack of potatoes on his bike. And other groceries that we needed. That's all we had, was just his bicycle. And us kids walked to school. Well, it was shorter for us to, because we walked along the creek and took a shortcut, but he couldn't go like, there with his bike, so he had to go clear around and go out to the highway. And we walked 2 miles to school and 2 miles home at night. Any kind of weather, because that's what we had to do. And I remember I was living with Delwon's aunt and uncle, and I didn't have a winter coat or galoshes or anything, and his dad bought me a coat and bought me galoshes. And I didn't know your parents then, but he knew, I was living with Roy and Marcy, and he did that for me. And that was just, I don't know, maybe the first year that I had been with them. And I don't know if you guys knew he did that.
I didn't know it, well.
And so that really meant a lot to me.
Did he just show up with them, or did he take you down to get them, or how did he do
Oh
it?
no, he just dropped them off at Roy and Marcy's. I really don't remember that much about it, only that he bought the coat and the galoshes for me. So, see, God had his hand on me all my life. He provided, and he kept me safe, because I could have, a lot of bad things could have happened to me. And I always have felt that God has had his hand on me all my life and protected me and kept me. And I'm so grateful, and I love him for it.